William Morden, E4, U.S. Army. I always wanted to join the military, was as a kid interested in flying, had applied to and been accepted to the Air Force Academy. 9/11 happened while I was a senior in high school, so kind of changed the dynamic. I went and enlisted to go airborne infantry in the Army. In 2003, arrived in Hawaii, where then I deployed to Iraq in 2004. After 14 months overseas there, returned home, was honorably discharged.
Michael Stern, E4 in the Army National Guard for 8 years. I did Black Hawk mechanics. My grandfather fought in World War II and always had all these different stories for me, and I wanted to try it out. On top of that, it was a way of being able to pay for college. I also wanted to serve my country. I was very patriotic. I did basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I went ahead and went overseas to Kuwait for a year. I was at Camp Buehring. I basically worked on helicopters for 10, 12 hours a day, then went back to my hooch, played video games. I volunteered at the USO over there where people could go and play video games, watch movies, and just generally hang out. So at that point is where my military career and my gaming really connected. I was gearing up to go overseas again, and I actually hurt my ankle. I was let out of the Army in 2014.
Jared Schaefer, specialist in the United States Army. Well, I had a whole lifetime before. I joined late into the Army. So when I was 31, I went and talked to a recruiter and said, hey, I want to enlist. I went to, basic training, went to my AIT, then got in the maintenance company in 101st Airborne. I was there for a couple of years and then transferred over to the flight company, Bravo company, as a door gunner, and went on deployment into Afghanistan in 2015, 2016. While I was there, I injured my back, came back, got a spinal fusion done, and at this point I'm just kind of waiting for my med board to finish up.
I've always played games. I'd say I'm an eternal noob. I've been playing video games since the original Battlefield on PC and city builders all the way through to the first-person shooters today, but it's always been a nice way to just kind of relax and calm down after a long day of work. We had a couple R&R tents at a couple of the bases, and we would make rounds there occasionally and end up playing Command & Conquer on the PC and a couple PlayStation games. Halo on Xbox was probably everybody's favorite. You would have just a high stress level maintained for a long period of time, and having a way to just kind of let it all out. I don't think we ever said it, but we got close, just being able to let that out together.
When I went through deep depressions when I was overseas and stuff like that, I have insomnia and sleep apnea, so gaming is a way of being able to deal with those things, because when I have insomnia, I can easily pick up a controller and play for 10 minutes on my TV before I pass back out. Gaming has always been the foundation rock for me.
When I found out I was coming out to PAX, one of the major problems I had was I was isolating myself in my house. I was pretty much going to formation, coming home, locking my door. It was pretty bad. And when Dave called me and said, hey, I want you to come out to PAX, I realized that, I needed some practice before I did this. And so I'd go out to my local Walmart and I'd just go walk around and get to the point where I wasn't quite so on guard. So it really helped me.
I found out about Stack Up, so I went ahead and put in for the air assault because one of my friends was like, hey, well, you're a veteran, this is a program for you. When I got the call, I won't lie, I almost broke down in tears. I was so happy. I was like, oh man, I've always wanted to go to PAX.
Yeah, I really appreciate what Stack Up is doing. It's hard to find a solid group of people who are interested in the community that they say that they're about, and the immersive therapy, if you will, that was talked about at the panel, for instance. I think there's a lot of real talk there, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come out here. Just thank you.
Thank you guys. There's not enough words or things I could say to thank all of you guys, the Stack Up teams, the streamers, enough. What you guys do is absolutely amazing. And for everyone to come together and collaborate and do something like this is so heartfelt, and I'm just so thankful to everyone. It's fantastic.